Brazil is here as well. He's got a lot of mentoring. We also have another special guest up in the audience, so I wanted to bring down Laura Pipia, who was instrumental in us pulling off our restaurant in Columbus, Ohio. And she was making magic at the food truck for the last 3 days.
Oh, she's been operating the food truck.
She's been making chicken magic.
Because I know there's a food truck done in Toronto.
Food truck is done for the day, so
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
So Morgan, when you began this project, how much did you envision the way it was going to come out? I mean, was there ever a time where you thought maybe I'm actually going to be able to open a healthy franchise?
I mean, I think when we first started, kind of going down the path of this, that was the original idea, that we would try and open a place that would be this super healthy fast food restaurant. Here's what it would be. And then as you start learning information about what sells, what people buy, what actually works in the marketplace, that's when everything started to pivot. Years ago, when before I made the first film, I was talking to our mutual friend Eugene Jarecki. I'd never made a movie before, and I called him up just asking for advice. And he said, the advice he gave me was, he goes, if the film you end up with is the exact same film you envisioned in the beginning, then you didn't listen to anybody along the way. And so from the very beginning, as we started getting feedback from people about what works and what doesn't, we realized that this onion was going to the layers were going to peel back in a very different way, but it enabled us, I think, to tell a much different story that I think is more compelling, plays into kind of what our desires are as just humans, and I think is an infinitely funnier story. Yeah.
On Friday for the first screening, you had a couple of the farmers here with us. They had to go back home to do their business. But
yeah.
Can you tell us what their experience is today and what the experience was for them to see the film?
Totally. So the two farmers that came up, Farmer Jonathan and his whole family came up for the premiere, which was incredible to get to share that with them on Friday. And Charles Morris, the farmer who breaks down, the farmer who's leading the lawsuit against Tyson. So the lawsuit is still going on against Tyson. They're right now in kind of the discovery period where they're just getting information from the company. And Jonathan, still to this day, has yet to get birds. The Cook Foods, who their contractors, they haven't canceled their contract. They haven't been fired or terminated. They just keep getting kind of strung along, saying they won't tell them when birds will show up or if they'll get birds. And they're just kind of in this really difficult place. With regards to kind of what their core business is. Yeah.
Anyone from Tyson here today?
Yeah.
Not today. Right. Not today.
Let's take some questions from the audience. I see a hand right up there, about the fifth row up. Yeah.
I was wondering, a book just recently came out. It's called Big Chicken. It just came out that people on Insta are talking about it. It's all about the role of antibiotics, which you didn't touch on so much. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that and how chicken is often washed into chlorine. Did you deal with any of that?
Yeah, there were a lot of things that with regards to the preparation of how chickens are done that we wanted to get into, but we just felt like there was going down a different path in terms of like the preparation before it kind of comes out to market, because that's a slaughter story of slaughter than preparation to. Most of those are going into grocery stores, and we felt like our story was going in a very different direction. So, but I've heard that book is amazing. I can't wait to check it out.
Okay, who's got a question? Sorry, the light's in my eyes, so right front row right here.
Well, right now the chickens that we got in Canada, because we couldn't bring our chickens across the border, so these were happy chickens. We made sure that we spoke to Farmer Jonathan of where we got our chickens here in Canada, that were raised in a great way. That was kind of our goal. So when we move forward, though, if and when there are more holy chickens, whether it's an actual brick and mortar or they're actual trucks that we take out, it's going to be Jonathan Buttram and his family.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're serious about taking this product to market?
Well, when we went to Columbus, and the response that we got there from people who were coming in, who were kind of so shocked by what we were giving them, but then simultaneously we were still selling out every single day, every day, like we were selling out of chicken sandwiches. And unlike here, where we gave them away for free, there we were charging for them. And we're charging $7.50 a sandwich, kind of a Chipotle-esque price for everything. And people were coming in and having this experience and walking away and calling their friends and telling their friends kind of what our goal is, wanting people to share this kind of enlightenment with people. What we talked about in the beginning was happening. And so then once the investors started calling, we were like, there's something here. There's a real there with this idea of really, as the guy says, shoving it down your throat. Both I think realistically with what the food actually is, and I think philosophically with the story that we tell you of how fucked up the industry is. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call, I can see a gentleman right here, and then I'm going to bring my colleague Dorota to take my moderating duties over because I have to teleport myself to another theater. Yeah, right here in the hat. Yeah.
So just a question. Do you plan to have a brick and mortar or truck you get to on a permanent basis?
The question is if you plan on having a brick and mortar or a truck in Toronto on a permanent basis.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll start with the fat Americans first, then we'll focus on the fat Canadians.
Have we heard any vegetarian or vegan reactions to your film yet?
There were a couple vegans that were in the screening on Friday who both of them were like, I don't eat chicken, but I love the movie. they're like, this is what I tell everybody. So it's, I think
That's funny. Yes, in the aisle. Yes.
in the red shirt right there.
I'm wondering, have you thought about making a movie called Subsize Me? And you talk all about the exercise industry and how they're charging too much, where they should actually be creating like tax that just add to it helps more.
So the question is, have you thought of making a Subsize Me about exercise, clubbing?
Believe me, my wife tells me I should make that every day. I think no. Listen, it's a great idea. And after we made the first film, people kept saying, you should make a film about being healthy and losing weight and living a healthy lifestyle. I'm like, that sounds like a great film for you to make. And a lot of people have made those films. It's been awesome.
I'd love to get to some hands in the back. Wave, yes, right there in the center.
In the interest of transparency, are there any plans to do anything with the potential profits of these franchises?
Do you have any plans to do anything special with the profits of these franchises?
Yeah, the whole goal for us is to take all that money to turn into food education, to open more of these where we're continuing to hire more farmers, getting them out of this system. Like if this actually happens, like the ability for us to kind of change an industry where we give farmers the ability to actually make a healthy living. We were paying everybody who worked in the Holy Chicken there, we didn't talk about this, we're paying them $15 an hour. So I think that the ability, and this is what we talk about all the time, is I think the problem with a lot of these restaurants is they let greed drive all the decisions. And I feel like if we come into this from a place of how can we actually do something that can have an impact and make a difference, it's a very different conversation.
How much higher is $15 an hour than the average minimum wage?
It's double. Well, I mean, but it's double what these guys get paid. Like as you heard, they're all getting paid $7, $7.70, $7.25 an hour in most of these places.
That's crazy. Yes, in the aisle. With the hat.
I've used Subversive a lot in my classroom. I just wanted to know how you feel about using your films and documentaries in the classroom, and whether you offer any materials or support for teachers who want to help with the rest.
How do you feel about your films being used in the classroom, and do you provide any other additional support or materials to help education?
With the first film, with the first Supersize Me, we made an educational version with 30 Days, a series that we did for FX. We did the same thing, and the goal is to do that also with this film. We would love to, really create a really robust educational initiative around it. I think there's so much in here that kids need to know about in terms of educating them very young about the food process and where we live. My partners and I have also talked about this. Maybe they want to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best thing you can hope for is that a life of any film you make has a life beyond just when you see it in a theater and when it goes out, on SVOD. So the more that it's in schools, it's always the best thing. I mean, when somebody stops you on the street and it's like, oh my God, like my classroom loves that. I mean, I think that's as gratifying of a response you can get from a film. So please, yes.
Anyone on the sides? Yes.
Are you afraid Wall Street's going to come eventually and say you have to cut costs, this isn't working?
Are you afraid that Wall Street's going to come and tell you that you need to cut costs and that your business isn't working?
Well, I don't. Wall Street usually doesn't show up, or they'll say people don't show up until you go public. So I think as long as we keep Holy Chicken a private, magically family-run corporation where we have happy chickens and happy farmers, then God bless America.
Have we asked if there are any farmers in the room yet?
Yeah, are there any? We had chicken farmers that were at the screening on Friday. Any chicken farmers come out today?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a chicken farmer right there. Right on, chicken farmer.
More questions? Yes, right up front.
Morgan, at the beginning, you were seeking the advice of Mayor Featival and Bobby Flake. Did you hear back from them when you finally went public with your first restaurant?
Yeah, they were when they first started hearing about it. They were both hitting me up saying, "This is amazing. We can't wait to see this. We wish we could be there." They haven't seen the film yet, so
the chefs.
The chefs. So we're trying to arrange time for all those guys to see it when we're back in the city. Yeah.
Have you been contacted?
That's gonna become Big Holy Chicken.
McHoly Chicken. Have you heard from Big Chicken since the premiere the other
I
night?
mean, it just premiered on Friday, and everything is just now kind of starting to drop. You know, the interviews and the things we've done post the premiere. So we'll see. We'll see when we hear from them. We never heard from McDonald's. Just to kind of give you guys an example. So the first Super Size Me came out, they ignored the film completely in the United States. Like they were like, he's crazy. They would never go on TV interviews like at the same time, but they'd always go on like right after me to contradict everything I was saying. So in the United States, they didn't attack the film because I think they learned their lesson from attacking Eric Schlosser. Like they viciously went after the author of Fast Food Nation. So they basically learned their lesson on that and kind of left me alone. But around the world, when the film came out, they aggressively, viciously attacked the movie, took out full-page ads, banners, commercials that attacked the movie. So, I mean, that was the greatest promotion the film could have ever had internationally, as they paid millions of dollars to promote my little documentary. So hopefully, the Chicken Council and the Chicken people will be equally as motivated to help advertise our movie.
Fingers crossed, you can help the movie travel really far by voting for it with your ticket outside the cinemas. I don't want to wrap with you, but I'm being told to. That's all the time we have. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for coming.